This week on the Mothership Podcast.
Yeah, but it'll be after World War III. I don't think I'm surviving that. Oh my god, when's World War III?
I will look now.
When is it? It's got to be soon, right? I clicked interested on the Facebook group.
2026 to 2053.
2026?
Apparently.
At least we'll get the Ahsoka TV show before that.
I mean, well.
Was it not that?
Queen entering the ballroom.
Yeah, serving perfection, honey. Unimatrix Zero. It's been a long road. And also, before we move, I want to end on a light note for Deep Space Nine. Jake Sisko.
I'm gonna cut the camera.
I know exactly where you're going.
That. When he's grown up.
Hello, Earthlings.
Greetings.
And welcome to
The Mothership Podcast. And today, we're going to be talking about crack.
Started already.
Oh, no. You can probably see what we're going to be talking about today. I'm very excited. This is definitely not the only one we're going to do.
Nope, because there's way too much to talk about.
Yeah. And,
And there's definitely one that we're going to have guests in.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And we've already picked you out.
So, but before we get to that, what have you
including
been
the one
up
that's
to?
not meant to be, well.
What have you been up to?
Just whoring around the ship.
Yeah. Was it last week we were with Darcy?
Yes.
That seems like longer.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, we're in the 85th week of January, so.
Yeah, oh my god, January is going on forever. Like, I've kind of had enough. Also, today, the weather, it's not it. It's not it. Yeah. You know what? In relation to Star Trek, the 21st century, it sucks. It sucks.
Well, we're getting closer to First Contact Day, so hopefully. Only, what? Oh god, wait.
Not if my overlords get here first, because we'll be destroying the planet.
It's 51 years.
From now?
Yeah.
Oh, bitch, I'll be dead. I will be dead. With my track record, I will slip on a soap or something before then.
But
a snake will get me.
4 days after your birthday. In 50 years.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it'll be after World War III. I don't think I'm surviving that. Oh my god, when's World War III?
I will look now.
When is it? It's got to be soon, right? I clicked interested on the Facebook group.
2026 to 2053.
2026?
Apparently.
At least we'll get the Ahsoka TV show before that.
I mean, well.
Yeah, oh my god.
It was nice knowing you.
Well, this is the thing. Okay, maybe we just go straight on to Star Trek. There's so much to talk about. For those who don't know a lot about Star Trek has predicted a lot of things. Maybe not as much. I don't know what has predicted more so far, Star Trek or The Simpsons.
I think, in terms of technology, definitely Star Trek.
Yeah, for sure. The progression of human technology has been pretty... Even social evolution. Because there are a lot of things that have happened in real life that have happened in Star Trek, but when they aired in Star Trek, it was our future, but the people in Star Trek, it was their past, but it was our future. Like, there's like a storyline in Deep Space Nine that's set in the 2020s. And we are like, I think it's like a couple of years away. But anyway, we'll get onto stuff like that later. But
well, you've got all the not really caring about gender roles and everything like that.
Oh yeah.
So we're already in that phase of history.
Yeah.
It just needs to hurry up a little bit more.
Oh, the downfall of capitalism. That's what I'm saying. But in Star Trek, like, World War III has to happen first. Like, we got to nuke a few places.
Deal with it.
Before.
I do not condone.
No.
This woman is saying.
It's all right. Me and the aliens got a plan. We got a plan. The Vulcans, that's got nothing to do with me. So they'll come when they come.
That is illogical.
But yeah. Oh God, I hope I'm here for when the Vulcans arrive. Just so I can.
I thought you said when the Borg arrive. I was like, what?
The Borg? No, we don't have to do that. All happens in the shadows. We don't have to deal with that. Don't have to deal with that. Picard will get on that in this little time travel trip. But
I can't wait for the new season. I know you had you know what? Don't you sigh at me.
I have reservations because I'm gonna be real. Like, it's giving me. Honestly, I know people are going to think that my eyes are red because I've been smoking too much, but honestly, they're red because I've been crying. Like, I just watched Star Trek Picard Season 3, and it is so good. Oh my God. I've tried to put a filter on to, like, try and hide the fact that my skin is so rough because I've been in drag. But whatever, bitch. I am dying. It was so good. Oh my God, and I never do these, like, you know, film yourself talking on fucking Instagram or whatever, but bitch, that shit was amazing. And the reason I'm crying, yeah, is because the Next Generation cast has not all been in something since, like, 2002, and out of all the Star Trek casts, they were, like, the best of friends. And you can really tell that when you watch, like, the behind the scenes. And this is, if we're being honest, like, this is probably going to be one of... Instagram cutting me off being so rude. But anyway, I was going to say that if we're all being honest, this is one of the last, like, big things. Or you know, it could be the last time we see Patrick Stewart, like, do a major acting role. And... I know it's only the first episode, but I said it in my story, bitch. This is going to be one of the best seasons of television ever. I can't even. I mean, honestly, even if you've even watched, like, a tiny bit of Star Trek or whatever, go watch that shit, because, bitch, that was a fucking movie. That was a movie. Oh my God. I honestly look like I'm so stoned, but really, I woke up and watched the episode. Like, I have not smoked anything. Well, I smoked earlier today, but whatever.
Okay, so this is the last one, I promise, but I've calmed down a bit. I went to the shop, I had a joint, I'm gonna be honest, like, calm me down a bit. And then I'm gonna post in the next part my conversation with Melanin, because I actually tried to record this video before I went to the shop, but then Instagram crashed. But yeah, if any of you watch me and Melanin Monroe's podcast, you're gonna realise that right here in these stories I've been eating my own words. So I just want to acknowledge here and now, and I'll probably put this clip in the episode. But yeah, Melanin was right. Melanin was fucking right. She tried to tell me season 3 of Star Trek Picard was going to be it. And, sorry, I've, like, got a vocal suite at the moment because I'm still recovering from a cold, and I was fucking crying. So I was just, yeah, I've destroyed my voice. Oh, fuck, it's going to cut me off again, so shit. I'm going to have to do a tiny little bit at the end, shit. Oh my God, Instagram just can't handle my emotion today. Right, this really is the last one. But yeah, Will, I'm going to tag you in this as well. Like, we're going to have to start doing fucking the Mothership reviews, because I can't be doing this on Instagram talking to the camera. Like, I'm a fucking mess. Like, but yeah, so we're going to have to start doing it on the podcast. And do some other TV shows as well, because, yeah, sorry, they got karaoke starting downstairs if you can hear someone singing. But anyway, that's me done. Go watch Star Trek Picard. That shit was fire. And, yeah, I hope everyone's enjoying their Saturday. I cannot do this one I'm putting on my close friends, because I'm not letting people...
New season of Star Trek Picard, it's giving me Kenobi vibes. Did you watch Kenobi? Do you watch Kenobi?
Yeah.
So, you can tell us, Will, if you have an opposing opinion, but I feel like the hype for Kenobi... Oh, the hype for Kenobi kind of reminded me of, like, the hype of, like, Batman vs Superman, where it was just like everyone was getting hype, but I'm looking at the trailer going like, this looks questionable. And then it was so overhyped that their climax and everything, it was just like, it was such a letdown.
But the thing you have to realise with this Superman vs Batman thing.
Oh no, that was also going to be shit, yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
And that was only hyped by the fanboys.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. And I felt like that was the same with Kenobi, because as we'd heard about Kenobi happening for so many years that when it finally came about, I was just like, I just don't feel like this is needed. Not me talking about Star Wars in the Star Trek episode, but like having Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker being so heavily present in the show just felt overused to me. And again, not trying to be biased, but I just feel like all of the character development they were trying to do with Obi-Wan could have been achieved with him meeting up with Ahsoka and them discussing. No, look, you laugh, you laugh, and I'm not trying to put her in everything, but it just it felt like a complete waste of an opportunity that they have a live action Ahsoka now that was filming at the same time that they could have, like, it just made sense instead of trying to de-age Hayden Christian to make him look like,
which just
you know, it wasn't those parts weren't terrible, but I just felt like they tripped over themselves a lot to do something that they could have just done very easily. But yeah, sorry, well,
I think a problem with Picard season 2 was that, so Star Wars can get away with this because of the direction it's gone in, but I think Disney marketed it quite generically, like da da da, oh wow, cinematic music and mysterious shots. But I think Star Trek's not really like that. I think it's more like it should have been a more classic marketing strategy, where it was less like cinematic event of the year and just like, hey, Star Trek, remember this, that's cool. Like,
so how are you feeling in anticipation for Picard season 3?
Well, I'm hopeful because I love where they've put it and I love the characters and I just love seeing Picard again.
Yeah.
So I'm hopeful. Picard would be hopeful.
Yeah, I am remaining
in the neutral zone.
Pessimistic. yeah. No, for real. Because season 2, I just felt like wasn't it. Like, it felt like a modern day Voyage Home. Like, the original series film where they go back in time, which is actually a good film because it is funny.
But that was the cool part about it, because it was like bringing to attention all the shitty stuff that's going on in America.
I didn't mind that. It was just like what they did with the Borg. Like, I feel like Star Trek is very iconic for its time travel, and I feel like what makes time travel great in Star Trek is that it's usually, except from a couple here and there, is usually like one episode, at most a two-parter, and they're condensed. Like, they're not spending a load of time. Like, I just felt like that we spent like half of or the whole season in the 2020s, which, come on, little bit lazy, little bit late for a whole season, bitch. A whole season. We're just gonna film out in the parking lot. Like, I mean, come on now. Like, literally, there was a whole scene of Raffi and Seven just in cars driving. They filmed that in fucking Paramount parking lot. I'm telling you. But
wasn't that because of COVID though?
I thought they filmed it after COVID.
I don't think so.
I think they filmed it after COVID.
At the same time.
I think they filmed it after COVID because the season only just came out. The season only came out
delayed because
guys, COVID was 3 years ago.
Yeah, now.
That's what I'm saying.
That's when they started filming it.
Yes, so I feel
they wrapped the first season like January 2020.
But I think season 2.
And then they had to stop, and then everything started going back again.
It's fucking Star Trek. It's fucking Star Trek. Like, I just wanted it to be a bit. It feels like a bit of a cop out because Picard is the first show. Obviously, now we have Lower Decks and other things, but Picard was the first show that was showing us after Nemesis. Like, which, as Star Trek fans, we have been waiting. Like, Nemesis came out in, 2002? Is that right?
Yes.
Can we do the clickety-clack?
Yes, I can.
I think it's 2002.
Picard Season 2 filming ended September the 2nd, 2021.
So that's after lockdown. COVID restrictions were lifted in America.
They basically stopped the whole period of COVID. They literally they were about to start.
So what I'm saying is that you lot are saying, season 2 was all set in the 2020s because they couldn't film a lot of stuff.
America had a lot of, it still does, have a lot of restrictions with regards to filming in terms of COVID. And they've only just recently started to pull them back.
Look, they could have done some green screen stuff. Fucking, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that they could have made something or delay it a bit. I just felt like it was a bit of a... As it's the first show that's past that point to take us back to our current time period, not even a different time, our current time period, like the 2020s. I just felt like, come on now. And then when we come back to the 24th century, the Borg are I can't even get it out. Like, I can't, like, it was, I don't know, they got some splaining to do.
Well, you'll have to see.
Yeah. So I'm optimistic, because I don't think the whole cast would have returned if they weren't thinking the story was going to be good. So
And we're getting the
was it 2002?
It was.
cast.
It was,
We're getting the
Yeah.
TNG.
Like,
Yeah.
some of the best moments of Picard were like, spoilers for Picard now, were like seeing Seven again and dealing with that.
Yeah.
And even the Borg Queen, like, I know it's a bit different, but like, even the concept of seeing the Borg Queen again was great.
Some bits with the Borg Queen were great, but the whole thing with Agnes, it was
Yeah.
too much. It was too Tom and Jerry. Like, it was just like the Borg Queen being like, "Oh, I got you now, Agnes." Like, it's like, is this the Borg Queen?
But it's because
The
it was her,
Borg Queen.
right? You could. I would sass myself if I was the Borg Queen, capturing myself in the past, future.
I just think it didn't. It became too like. Who is it that there's someone in Star Trek Voyager describes the Borg as like a terrible storm, like a hurricane. Like, you can't be mad, like, because they're not. It's not like a villain like Khan, who has this like personal vendetta motive, something like most villains, like most like humanoid villains have this, like, you know, some sort of personal thing attached to their motives, like, you know. But the Borg, they just want to assimilate, and the thing is, they don't just like assimilate, like, there's like rhyme and reason to how the Borg works. And I just think when you make the Borg Queen this like like villain, like, oh bitch, like, oh yeah, oh, I got you trapped in my web now, like, no, oh yeah, like, it's a bit fucking Disney villain, like, do you know what I mean?
Image in my head.
But was it not that?
Queen entering the ballroom.
Yeah, serving perfection, honey. Unimatrix Zero.
Especially considering she was just a half body for the whole series. Just her waddling on.
I don't even need legs to serve cunt, bitch. I just dangle from the ceiling and serve it to the drones, I guess.
I've now got that burned in my
Oh,
retina.
God.
Shall we like recreate that one day?
Or what, just get like some Borg Vogue mix. Like, resistance is cunt. Oh my god.
Right, so let's figure some structure.
Yeah. So Star
Where do we
Trek.
want to start?
I guess what does Star Trek mean to all three of us? Because we're all pretty big fans of Star Trek, but maybe in different ways. Maybe we all love different parts of Star Trek.
So, out of all of us, I would say I'm more the casual viewer. So I started.
The tables have turned.
Bitch.
No. What I mean is, like,
No, I know
a
what
few
you
of the
meant. I know
episodes
what
we've
you
done,
meant.
like the
I know
anime
what
one.
you
Yeah. You know what I mean. What I'm saying is that you're a smart bitch. You know some things. You know some things. But now I got to know some things too.
But I started when TNG was re-airing on like Sky One and that when we were growing up, and yes, that was a thing. Reruns, not remakes of things.
Oh my
reruns. Anywho, that's when I joined onto watching Star Trek. Like, I'd heard about it before and I was like, sounds interesting.
How old were you when you got into Star Trek?
Oh God, I don't even remember the first time I properly watched it, because it was just something that was.
Like teenager or kid?
Oh no, definitely when I was still in
Yeah.
primary school, and then through to secondary school, because it was always airing when I would get home from school.
Yeah.
Or at least an hour or so later.
Yeah.
And because my mum usually would try and get home before we did and stuff and start doing stuff, so we always had like the TV on where she'd had like it just playing in the background, and then I'd be like, let's see what's on this channel, let's see what's on this channel.
So Next Gen was the one you started with. That's usually when, for new Star Trek fans, that's the one I tell people to start with. I'm like, do not, people make the mistake of starting with the original series, and I always say you've got to already love Star Trek. As someone of our, like,
with all the technological advancements
you've
we've
got
had,
to already
in
love
order
Star
to
Trek.
actually appreciate the original series.
It's not like watching the original trilogy of Star Wars. Like, it's like you can start with those because they
Let us
they
not
still,
forget the Gorn.
Yeah, exactly. But like those things are iconic to watch. But I feel like once you already you can enter next gen, and then next gen brings you into like the whole era of like Deep Space Nine and Voyager. So it's like this very connected era already. But yeah, so would you say next gen has remained your favorite to this day?
I'd say it is one of my favorites.
Yeah,
because it's what got me into the franchise, and it's got some of my favorite storylines and characters.
Yeah,
I mean, just watching Patrick Stewart do his thing on screen.
Yeah,
just no words.
And Raka, that's my husband. That's whose face I was sitting on in the Mario Party episode.
Previously on the Mothership Podcast.
It was the only thing giving me comfort. Was his beard in between my cheeks anyway.
You nasty bitch.
Look, you see how he mounts that chair. He needs to... Anyway, let me stop.
I just remembered I am wearing panties today. Hang on.
Let's bring Raka over.
But obviously, and we've had many a discussion about this, Deep Space Nine...
Oh, yeah.
Purely because, one, black representation.
Yeah.
And two, the really...
Oh, y'all know I'm about to talk about Deep Space Nine.
in-depth racial and also queer-orientated storylines that they brought in specifically because of the cast that they had. And then there's the one that they seem to almost forget about.
Well, apparently, according to the rumours, spoilers, potential spoilers, that it looks like, we had in Lower Decks, we had an episode actually on Deep Space Nine after the TV show, so that was really cool. I love that. I thought it was the perfect amount. There was so much said without saying anything. Just little scenes of animation where the characters
that's what I love about Lower Decks.
Yeah, it's so good.
It gives to the fans in all the ways it needs to without going overboard.
For those who don't know, Lower Decks is an animated adult Star Trek comedy show, but it's made by the same people as Rick and Morty, but it is so good. For me, it's the best new Trek at the moment. Strange Worlds is getting there. Strange New Worlds is getting there. Because that was fantastic.
That was very good.
That was so good. That was giving me next gen vibes. It was giving me next gen
as well.
Oh yeah. My favourite episode was the fantasy episode. I love that episode. It was so camp.
Stupid.
It was so camp, but
so stupid, but so good.
Yeah, it was like those things and stuff.
But that's what everyone loves.
Star Trek is so diverse.
It can be
people don't
completely
realise.
serious for 10 episodes straight, and then all of a sudden, wham! They're in medieval England.
Yeah.
For no apparent reason other than there's some props lying around. We might as well use them.
So what about for you, Will? What does? Oh wait, before we move to Will, are we approaching break?
We are.
Okay.
But maybe yes or no, we should.
Okay, cool. Do not clickety clack.
We'll be right back.
And we blackety black?
Yeah.
I think, something like that. So, welcome
black.
Oh.
That was a mess.
Well, what
I just put my dreads in my water.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh my god. And we are a mess. Yeah. So we were talking about what Star Trek means to all three of us. So, Will, how about you?
So I started watching Star Trek with my dad when I was very young. We didn't just watch Star Trek, we watched all the Star ones, which was Star Trek, Stargate, obviously Star Wars, but also Farscape, stuff that. So that kind of... When I was very young, it was all just a blur.
Not Star
TV sci-fi. What?
We do not need to give that film.
I've never seen it, but I will have to watch it. Yeah, maybe we'll do a viewing one day. Anyway, it's a RuPaul film. Oh, RuPaul's in it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Star booty. Anyway, sorry.
So I grew up with it, and I was watching it a lot. But to me, I didn't really watch the original series, and Next Generation was a bit slow for childish, young, hyperactive me. So then I watched Voyager and enjoyed that the most. Didn't watch any of Deep Space Nine when I was a kid, but then growing up, I have found a lot more appreciation for all of them. Next Gen is classic. Voyager is great. Deep Space Nine is my classic favorite. But then you're right. Lower Decks is like my new favorite.
Yeah.
And Strange New Worlds is great. Discovery lost me a bit at the end of the 4th season.
Yeah, it has. Is I don't think it's not quite done. It's not done a Heroes yet. Like it's not gone that far. I just think they've had a little bit of a dip.
See, it took me so long to actually watch Discovery because I started it out and I was like, okay, and then I stopped for a bit, and then the next thing I saw was them blue Klingons with those fucking.
Well, they did
crystals.
fix it a little bit.
Fix what?
They did fix it. No, the time crystals was fine. I didn't mind that because that added to Pike's story. It added to Pike's story and like kind of helped set up Strange New World. Girl, we have had weirder. We have had talking clouds. We have seen God in Star Trek. Yeah.
No, okay.
Girl, we have seen Jesus himself.
No. Sentient cloud. You can have a sentient gas. That is something within the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
Not particularly R1, but it could happen.
I think
time crystals.
Okay, they weren't literally called time crystals though.
Yes, they were.
But like, okay, I just don't think it's the most egregious thing. There are some things in Discovery that I won't back up, but that I think I'm not mad at it. I was I'm not mad at it, but
I didn't start watching until. Oh my God! When did I start? It was after the Red Angel arc.
Oh, okay. I love that because it's so... people that were shouting about how Discovery Season 1 was like, oh, it breaks canon. Even I was looking at it sideways going like, they got to explain this somehow. And then the ending of Season 2 was just chef's kiss. But yeah, well, carry on.
In fact, so I think I started watching halfway through Season 3. Yeah, when they had the break for Season 3.
So you didn't even see them jump to the... Girl, you gotta go back.
No, I've watched it.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't start watching it until...
The second half of Season 1 is really good when they go to the mirror universe and...
Yeah, all that shit I loved.
Yeah.
It was just...
Girl, the time crystals ain't that bad. We have seen worse.
And the Klingons.
We have seen salamanders done fuck all up and through. Am I lying? No.
But yeah,
we saw Captain Janeway reproduce with one of her subordinates who she took from prison. There's always some disease or some shenanigan that's making the whole crew fuck each other. Every Star Trek show, it happens at least once. Every Star Trek show.
When Lower Decks did that episode and just Boiler's bar. Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, like, I don't think time crystals is the most egregious thing we've ever seen.
That was where I was like, I'm checking out.
But yeah,
that fire exit door open.
So Will, you were saying,
yeah, that's it. It's good. I like Star Trek a lot.
And Deep Space Nine is your ultimate favorite.
I think so, yeah, because I'm kind of glad I didn't watch it as a kid because that's kind of what put me off watching Enterprise for so long.
Which I will defend to the. You still haven't seen it, have you?
No, I say it put me off for so long. It put me off forever.
You are okay. Right. Now, people who are just watching this trying to find out new stuff about Star Trek, sorry. But for those fans out there, and to you two, and to the people, Fuchsia von Still, fucking, look, yeah, Enterprise, I will defend. It is a good show. It is like the bookend of the golden era. Like, it definitely does feel different to the golden era of Star Trek. For those who don't know, the golden era of Star Trek are the 90s shows. Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager. But Enterprise... What are you gonna say? What you gonna say now?
But that song...
It's been a long road, getting from there to here. It's been a long time, but our time is finally here. Yeah, I can feel my dreams are coming right around.
See you after work.
I can touch the sky, but it's not gonna hold me down no more. Hope it's not gonna change my mind. Turn it back to me, no, it's gonna break me. How can live every star?
Don't indulge this foolishness.
I was trying to make them jump, not give them props.
Into my arms.
And I'm surprised you fucking saw it from that distance as
I know,
well.
that was
Jesus.
the force, bitch. That was the force. Yes.
You are in the wrong franchise.
No, look, I will always rep both. See,
Yeah.
I'm giving Scotty meets Quinlan Voss. That's a deep cut for y'all. But
So
anyway.
what about you?
Oh, wow, where do I start? Okay, well, honestly, I have never not known Star Trek. Like, it has always been in my life. Like, I literally grew... I always say, like, my mum raised me, and then so did Star Trek. Like, my two parents were my mum and Star Trek. I've just always watched it. I think my favorite growing, like when I was a kid, like it's probably similar to Will, my favorite was Voyager, because it just, the three golden age shows for me represent like different things. Like Next Generation represents exploration and exploring like friendship. Voyager is about family. Like, and I just like Voyager was always such a cozy show for me, because they were like, of course it a bit traumatizing for the crew. They're stuck in the Delta Quadrant, like 70,000 light years away from the Federation. You know, they got like decades, generation ongoing long trip ahead of them. But it just like, oh, I don't know. I like as a kid, I love the feel of Voyager, and it obviously has a lot of like light-hearted moments and stuff. And for some reason, I don't know why. Like, I think a lot of kids like were drawn to Voyager. Maybe it's because like that's what was airing.
Well, it was a combination of things.
Yeah.
Like, they tried to advertise it as such. So obviously you had Janeway, the first female captain. You then obviously had, after season 1, the sexualization of Seven.
I just also just feel like
the young boys in.
Yeah, but I just feel like it has the closest. Like the characters on the Voyager crew are closer than any other crew.
And considering what happened
Well, yeah, it is.
outside of things.
Yeah, but for me, the same as Will, Deep Space Nine is my ultimate fate. I think objectively, on all counts, it is the best of Star Trek. Like, you get to learn so much about the lore of Star Trek and the galaxy, like, and how all the different races and organizations like the Federation, the Klingon Empire, the Dominion, how all these places fit into the universe politically as well, and how all these different ideals coexist in different parts of space where their borders meet, like because Deep Space Nine is like in this position where it's near Cardassia, it's not too far away from the Klingons and the Romulans in the neutral zone, and I just love
It's a mess.
yeah, but like the show is not a mess. Like the show is just so well written. It was the most progressive show of it. Even to this day, like watching it, all of the social issues are so relevant. It has so much rewatchability to it, and like the fact that the story started in episode 1 of season 1 is like, you know, it's like one continuing story to the end of season 7. And
it was a circular vessel.
yeah, but like I just loved all the overarching storylines, and yeah, I just think and the most immersive cast. Like there was even though you had the main cast, you had all these other characters like that would pop in, because it was a space station, so it had people coming in and you know, I don't know if this is a spoiler, but like Deep Space Nine, the last few seasons is basically during a war, so it just becomes this massive epic story. It was Game of Thrones before Game of Thrones, like honestly, and so many sci-fi shows post Deep Space Nine have credited Deep Space Nine as its it really did start long arcing serialized storylines on TV for like, because most of the time sci-fi and fantasy did a lot of episodic stuff.
Yeah.
Like even if you look at things like superhero stuff as well, like it was all like episodic, like you know.
Well, to be fair, that it's that era of the 90s where it all started to. So like even looking back, like the first season of the X-Men, for instance, the animated series, again, best X-Men there is.
Yeah.
That started out pretty much very episodic.
Yeah.
It had an overarching theme.
Then it
but
had the whole Sentinel thing come in.
It would only be like
yeah.
every 2 episodes were kind of really linked in.
Yeah.
But then they decided with season 2, it would literally be, okay, here's where we are.
Yeah.
Here's where we're going. Here's how we get there.
Yeah.
And every single thing would line up.
Yeah.
And then it continued with that until it ended.
Yeah, but it's coming back now.
I know.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
But yeah, Deep Space Nine for me, just it hits all the things. And I think out of anything Star Trek, it has the best ending. The best ending. If you're starting to watch Star Trek for the first time and you're watching Next Generation and you go to Deep Space Nine and Voyager and blah blah blah, if you are not crying at the end of Deep Space Nine, you weren't watching properly. There is like, or like, you know, not everyone. Yeah,
for everyone.
And usually I hate montages. I hate it. I hate like a flashback montage. I can't stand them. However, Deep Space Nine, yeah, I boo-hoo every fucking time. Every time. I'm pretty sure Caitlin came round. Well, Caitlin's one of someone in our drag family, and hey, Caitlin. And she came round either before or after. I think it might have been after I'd watched Deep Space Nine finale.
After.
And I was
I remember this conversation.
I was just like, I'm sorry, I've been crying. Like, I can pause it and then cry a bit more.
Because it was also the day after I came to visit you. And then
Oh,
Kayla
yeah.
When you had just... Because you were like, I'm going to start crying.
Yeah.
I'm 2 episodes away.
But yeah, so for me, that's... And how I got into Star Trek, my mum is like the biggest Star Trek fan. Like me and her could talk about Star Trek for hours. Like, and then all of my American family, or not all of them, but a lot of them are Star Trek fans. So, yeah, just big old Trekkie from birth here. I've been to a lot of conventions, a lot. A lot.
But did you go to the Star Trek convention in 2012 and meet any of the captains?
Did you see a play with
Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart? No.
No, I didn't.
or
No, I didn't.
a certain empath, and then get to meet her outside and have a
No,
little
I
chat with
didn't.
her?
But I did get the shit. More Billy got the shit scared out of us as kids from Martok, because as a human, he looks like, what's that fucking wrestler with the bleach blonde hair?
Which one?
Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, him mixed with like, but he has like an eye. Like obviously Martok has one eye and wears an eye patch, and in real life he has 2 eyes and he's not a Klingon. Like, it is the most disorientating thing. If you ever meet Star Trek actors, people who've played Klingons especially, when you see them as a human, like Michael Dorn.
When I see Michael Dorn, I'm like,
it's so
Whoa.
weird. I'm just like, there's that Deep Space Nine episode where he is like, is it Far Beyond the Stars? Is that the one where Sisko's a writer? One of the
top
best.
episode. So good.
That episode.
Talk about boo-hooing. When he's
There she goes.
No. When he says, when they try and tell him his story, because okay, so I'll explain. There's this beautiful episode of Deep Space Nine where Captain Sisko is having this like vision, and it's like kind of the prophet. There's loads of ways to interpret a lot of what happens in Deep Space Nine, because they leave a lot of it up to your interpretation. It's quite a spiritual show. Sisko is in the 19-somethings.
It's 1940s, 50s.
Yeah, I want to say 50s, yeah.
Well, actually, no. 30s, 40s, sorry.
Maybe, yeah.
30s, 40s.
Either way, not looking good for us black people, okay? And so he's a science fiction writer at a white... at like a white publication, yeah. And he writes this story, which is basically Deep Space Nine, about this black man who's the captain of a space station 400 years in the future, and everyone loves his story, but they won't print it because he's made the character a black man, and instead of changing his character to be white, he just doubles down and creates more stories and blah blah blah, and then in the end they say it's going to be like the cover of the book, and then they pull it in the end. And then also his character goes through a whole load of other racial bullshit. But his character breaks down in like the final scene, and they're like firing him from the shot. And Avery Brooks, who plays, all the cast members said in that documentary, they were like, they just watched him break down for like 20 minutes, and they only used like 2 minutes of the footage, but they said they were just
had
all
to physically
shocked.
Stop him and pick him up because he just went on.
And it's the line when he goes like, you can't take it away from me, I created it, it's in my head, so it's real, I created it. I'm not gonna imitate the emotion because I lived like, bitch, I am welling up. Like when he said that, shit hit me as a kid, because I was a really like imaginative, live in my own world kind of kid. Like if we were walking to the shops, bitch, I was
stories.
Yeah, I was walking in the street, fucking, being a little Jedi, or or sometimes I would have a little like, I had little like mini Starfleet ships, and I used to just on the way to the shop, and they'd be like going through nebulas, like a bush would be a nebula and shit. I was doing all kind of so I was quite an imaginative kid, and especially like different schools I went to, like that was kind of discouraged a lot, and that shit
ridiculous.
Yeah, that shit just like, that shit hit me like as a kid, and it has stuck with me. And every time, like sometimes honestly, if I'm rewatching Deep Space Nine, I have to hold back on what, like if I get to that episode, I'm like, make sure I'm not, I can't just be doing my makeup fucking watching that episode. Like it's also, I think, the only time in Star Trek the N-word is ever used, but it's like,
it has the right connotations in terms of its actual use and its impact as well. Yeah. Because it's like...
Because I know a few episodes ago we were talking about like Uhura and Star Trek and then Whoopi after her. And of course, Deep Space Nine could not have happened without those things. Like so many things had to happen for that show to be what it was. But oh my god, like that shit, like for like even not just diverse in its human characters, obviously having black and Asian characters, but also having like so many different aliens, like to also represent that in the future humans are to coexist. Do you know what I mean? It's just, we had a break.
I think that we should talk about our favourite episodes after we take a break.
Okay.
And I also just learned that Avery Brooks also directed the episode Far Beyond the Stars.
Yes, he did.
Well played.
Which is another reason they had to pull him up off the floor.
And also, before we move, I want to end on a light note for Deep Space Nine. Jake Sisko.
I'm going to cut the camera.
I know exactly where you're going.
When he's grown up. All right? For the first like 3-4 seasons, he is a child, and also there's like season 5, I'm still kind of like, or it might be season 4 where I'm just like, okay, no, that's a teenager. But Mary, he comes back for summer vacation and Can we put a picture up of Jake Sisko grown up so people know what I'm talking about?
No, because you know the one he's going to use.
No, we can't use that one. We have to. Bitch! I need to see the behind the scenes of that episode because someone knew what they were doing. Because why would they set him up like that? Y'all who have seen Deep Space Nine know exactly what I'm talking about. There's no way you can miss it. Once I pointed it out to you. Did you notice it before I pointed it out to you?
No.
You liar. You liar.
Anyway,
we're 20 minutes in, so we should take a break.
Yes, thank you. We're not going down this whole tangent again.
Do not, oh god. Do not clickety clack.
We blackety black.
And we be right back.
Kapla.
And we're back. So yeah, I don't know what we was talking about before, but we're gonna move the conversation on to what. Okay, we're gonna start with favorite episodes.
Yes.
So we're gonna name. Each of us are gonna name one episode, which. Oh, this is gonna be so hard. This is gonna be so hard. You're gonna have to come to me last in every category. I'm sorry. Like, I'm gonna need to. Okay,
where are we starting? Original series?
You know what? Let's do it in the order we recommend people to watch Star Trek in.
That's a conversation in itself.
No, but then that's what I'm saying. It gets out of the way. Like, can we all agree? Well, can we all do as I say? I think the correct order is Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Enterprise, and then maybe original series, and then all the new stuff.
I feel like I have to agree.
Agree to disagree.
What would you change?
Because you have to have Lower Decks last.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All of
Watch
it.
all the new stuff like in the order we all watched it in, roughly, kind of. Because obviously, like, stuff was airing at the same time. But like, you know, watch Discovery, then watch maybe from Discovery watch Strange New Worlds, and then watch. I don't know, Picard and Lower Decks. You could kind of just like throw. Anyway, tangent. So, yeah. You know what, Will? You say what series, then you say your favorite episode, and then pass it over.
Okay, but I'm not going to say my favorite episode for time's sake. I think it should just be you two.
Girl, come on. If it's over an hour, it's over an hour.
Okay.
It's not going to be like the first episode, all right?
Yeah,
was so
definitely
long.
not.
We're so triggered.
Okay. Well, I do agree. I think Next Generation should be first.
Yeah.
I have a lot of favorite episodes. But it's really hard to think of because I didn't think I was going to be doing this. So I didn't think in the break.
I mean, I've not thought specifically. I'm just trying to think of like what is the episode that comes to my head the most that...
I would say, for me,
Can I tell you something funny? My mum is like, if we lived in the Star Trek universe, she was like, would you want to be in Starfleet? And I say no. Or her question was, would you want to be a captain? And I'd be like, hell no. Because the amount, like, I am such a panicker. Like, as soon as, Captain, we have identified, we can't identify an incoming ship. Bitch, shields up, phasers, quantum torpedoes, full spread, let's go. Captain, they may be afraid. I don't give a fuck. Fucking blow it out of the sky. This nebula is emitting weird readings. Bitch, leave it alone. Let's keep going. Let's get to Riser. Come on now. But anyway, so what were we talking about?
So I thought of a few.
Okay, so go on.
Okay, one of my top ones, I can't remember how good it actually is, but the one where they're stuck in a time loop and Data and Geordi work it out really slowly.
that's a very good one.
I
Very, very
think
good
I know which one you're talking about because there's been a few. There's an Enterprise episode like that. There's also a Voyager episode like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
What's happening on the ship? Doesn't Picard? Don't they hear like a message of Picard saying like activate self-destruct? Like there's some shit going on like that.
Ooh, I don't remember that bit.
Anyway,
Then again,
Yeah.
But
as
yeah.
I said, more casual. So,
So
my memory is not the best with it.
right. So like a time loop episode.
But
I think
remember
I know
the
what you're
episode
talking about. Yeah.
And another shout out for me is Chain of Command.
Oh, that was mine.
Sorry.
Well, so I'll say then. Chain of Command is probably my favorite. Like, if I just want to go and watch Next Generation real quick, I'll watch those 2 episodes. Yesterday's Enterprise. I do love that episode when they have the Enterprise C Guinan is the only person that realizes that the timeline has changed. Like suddenly the timeline just changes, and Tasha Yar's not back from the dead in this alternate timeline. She never died, and then it's such a good episode, such a good time travel episode. What about you?
So for me, TNG wise, I would say, oh god, so many episodes. Oh Jesus, I had it in my head the whole time, and I'm literally now going to say it. I can't remember. It's a really weird one, but it's literally the episode where it's predominantly just Picard and Guinan having a chat, and I cannot remember the episode name, but it's literally, I think it's just after the whole Borg incident with Picard, and he goes to chat with Guinan, and it's basically just them for nearly the whole episode.
I'm trying to think what happens after when Picard comes back. He goes back to France, and then...
Is it the episode after that?
Because I don't really know if him and Guinan talk about it much, because that is my one critique of Next Generation over Deep Space Nine, is that big things that happen to characters, like they might talk about it for maybe one more episode, and then they just will not talk about it again. Because like they don't really bring up Picard being part of the Borg unless it's a Borg storyline. And it's like, bitch, that is some trauma. That is some
he's dealing with it now.
Yeah. And obviously in First Contact, I think First Contact like kind of did what Next Generation kind of failed to do, and that's it's not a major criticism. It's still A tier Star Trek, like for me. Yeah. So after Next Gen, Deep Space Nine, what's your favorite episode, Will?
I'm worried I'm going to take your one, but one of my favorite ones is baseball episode.
Oh, okay. That's not one of my. To be fair, I love most of Deep Space Nine.
When
So
the Tesselberger boat.
you got to watch that episode again, girl. You got to watch it again.
I have.
You got to watch Jake Sisko. You got to watch the Jake Sisko edit. Let me tell you.
Not the Jake Sisko.
Look, trust. Look up on Reddit. It's not just me. Anyway. So the baseball episode.
Yeah.
Why is that one of your favorite episodes?
It's just very unconventional and very inspiring, and I just think the whole cast is great in it.
They had time to kill. That was it.
Girl, it's in the middle of the war. I like that in the war they have, because they have like some of the Ferengi episodes in the last two seasons, like kind of, it brings that levity, because they even have a Ferengi episode where they the Ferengi try and save Quark's mother from the Dominion, and even though the Dominion is still like this imposing force, it's a really like fun episode, and I
remember that one.
And the baseball episode kind of fits in there because there's a lot of serious shit going on in season 7. Like it is intense for like 26 episodes. It is just, I mean, the last 10 episodes, when you watch on, it's like part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. Like I swear it says that on Netflix. It's like part 1 to 10 of the last episode is like a 10-parter. Like there's a lot of heavy shit going on. So it's nice to have a little episode in between the wartime of just, let's play baseball on the holodeck. And I like it.
It's not for me.
You can't tell me shit about
especially because it's also baseball.
Yeah, but baseball. Yeah, I mean, I like it.
They could have picked any sport, and they chose baseball.
What's one of your favorite Deep Space Nine episodes?
Do you have to ask?
Far Beyond the Stars.
Yeah.
That it's hard for me not to say that one either. However, I mean, it is probably. It's hard because I can't rewatch that as much as like other, so I wouldn't say it's like my all-time favorite episode, but it is definitely arguably the best episode. But I don't know what the episode is called, Will. Maybe if you do the clickety-clack when they go back to the 2020s. Gabriel Bell, when the Gabriel Bell arc, I love that.
My second favourite is the one with, what's the hologram that's in the bar?
The hologram in the
the singer.
Oh, Vic Fontaine. The heist episode.
I was going to say when Nog.
In the pale
like
moonlight.
Yeah.
That episode.
That episode.
That is a brilliant episode.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh, actually, shit. Oh shit! That is a fucking great. And the siege of AR-19 or something, which when he loses his leg. You know what? Just season 7. Honestly, no. Actually, take that back. For me, there really isn't any bad episodes of Deep Space Nine from season 5 onwards. There really actually isn't any in season 4 either. There are some really good episodes in season 4. Deep Space Nine. Just let's move on.
I know what I'm doing tonight.
Yeah, oh god. Yeah, move on. What's next?
Voyager.
Oh. Okay, Will, you go first.
The one that always sticks in my head is Year of Hell.
Fucking bitch, tit wankers, shit. Yeah. Okay, go on.
With more, or you want me to explain?
You talk about it.
I don't know. I remember even when I was watching it really young, I was like, oh my God. And as a kid, I genuinely couldn't see how it was going to end.
Yeah.
Because I had no idea that, obviously split universe and stuff is like a fairly basic Star Trek concept, but I think it was just done so well. And most of their journey, I feel, was not nice, but fairly normal Star Trek.
Yeah.
And then it was actually, here's what could happen.
Yeah.
And it's the worst.
And also, it's kind of a good episode because Voyager is not as episodic as Next Generation, but it's not as serialized as Deep Space Nine. That's a good double episode to watch if you know how some people just they go, I've seen a couple episodes of Star Trek, here's there. That's a good one that you could just watch because you do get to see the crew within a year, so you get to see a lot of the characters progress further than they do in episodes afterwards, because you see them in this you see Seven adjust to being part of the crew a bit more, but then after Year of Hell, spoilers, it's some time travel shit, so the events of that episode basically get nullified and they experience a totally different year instead for the rest of the season. And characters like Seven, I was about to say Sezen because she's a lesbian now, she's scissoring Seven, but
that's already a thing.
Oh girl, it was a thing before she was anyway, but you go first, and because I got to think of another one.
There's so many to choose from.
I know, there actually is.
It's a toss-up between... Year of Hell. I'm trying to place that in my head.
That's season 4. Because Seven has not long joined the crew.
But is that
and
the one
Kes
where she's the only one that realises?
No. Oh, you're talking about when she's part of the time ship and Captain Braxton, and then she keeps going back in time.
Yeah.
To save Voyager. That is a great episode too. I do like that. And it also calls back to Captain Braxton, who was part of the 2 episodes in season 3 when the Doctor gets his mobile mail.
But speaking of the Doctor, that episode,
I've met him.
That episode where his dreams start to come to.
His fantasies. Yeah.
And it's
that's a fun episode.
That whole contradiction of ethics within Starfleet, which is meant to be the epitome of what all ethics should be.
Do you know what Doctor episode I love? When he has a family. That shit is emotional. Oh my god, that shit. I did. Oh god, I can't pick.
But also the episode with, oh god, what was the species? The one where it's Janeway essentially goes, well, like most captains, spoiler alert, go against the Prime Directive in one way or another. Or one of the tenets of the Prime Directive, anyway.
Sorry, I'm just still trying to think of an episode.
What is the species name? It's species something 36 or 39?
Species 847. 8472.
Yeah,
Which, what, Scorpion? With the Borg? I mean, that is a great 2-part.
So
when they introduced Seven for the first time.
Yes.
Yeah, Scorpion Part 1 and 2. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And the music in Scorpion is some of the best Star Trek music. Oh, my goodness. So good. Look at...
Can we get back to the Borg? Seriously.
Like, enough of these Borg chatting, yeah? Like, the Borg used to just come in and be like, resistance is futile, we will add your biological and technological distinctiveness to your own, you know, fucking, and then they get on with it. Like, can we have more of that? Like, I want more terror. It's like when Doctor Who, when the Daleks stopped being scary. Do you know what I mean?
But they are literally like, you can't, how do you get scarier than the Borg, really?
Go back to...
We kind of had that with, like, Control, but again...
You know what we need?
Hi everyone, it's Will. I'm just going to stop you there. The following is a message to Paramount from Captain Alex Fincher, Admiral Melanin Monroe, and Ensign Will Fox. Alex is going to now explain why you should hire us as screenwriters for the Star Trek franchise. Thank you. Goodbye. Enjoy.
Early Borg.
And I've said that, Will knows I've said this before, we need a trilogy of films that involves legacy characters from the golden era, so people from Next Generation, Voyager, Star Trek, coming together in a three, kind of like Endgame, Infinity War style, and like have like a big old Borg storyline. Like, why not? Have a big, or maybe like, or just something that brings all those characters together in like a nice like three film. Look, I think it should be a Borg thing. I think it should be, because the Borg is what the Borg has appeared in all three of those shows, and it is a presence always known within the galaxy, and I think they've just been a bit nerfed in recent years. In Prodigy they were good in Prodigy. What
I want as well is to link the Borg within Discovery, because they must still be kicking about. There's no way they can just go... There's been
unless they do have some sort of plan to address what has happened to the Borg somewhere within those 900 years after the 24th century. But anyway, Voyager.
They kind of, because Picard is essentially the closest point to that.
I don't think they're going to do Borg in Picard season 3. I don't think it's going to be Borg.
No, but I mean in terms of like linking like Discovery to continuity, other than just we were, and then we're not talked about. That's why you didn't hear about us until now.
I mean, to be fair, it is 900 years in the future. How much of current affairs from 900 years ago is relevant today?
I mean,
do you know what I mean?
We still learn about...
Oh, yeah, for sure. But, like, I don't think...
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like, in the vastness of the universe, like, or the galaxy. But anyway, moving on from Voyager.
Shout out one of my best favourite episodes, which is Pathfinder with Broccoli.
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 That's a great... when he's trying to get the trans... Oh, what is it? Trans something communicator.
Yeah, it's the first one where he's trying to convince all of his research staff that this is legit.
Yes, good. I do like Barclay's includement in Voyager, and I like how he becomes like a surrogate member of the crew. It's cute. Like
Enterprise.
Well, I'm easy. I ain't got one.
Wait, okay, not even the Borg episode, because that is, even people that don't like Enterprise love that episode.
There's a Borg episode, but how does that work?
Wait, first of all, hold up, because I've just remembered Will hasn't seen Enterprise. Have you even seen Regeneration?
What is that? No.
That was so ridiculous. I had to come back from the dead to school you. What the fuck? You haven't even seen Regeneration. You don't even know what I'm talking about, do you?
No.
Okay.
Sounds nice.
To all the Enterprise haters out there, y'all need to give Enterprise a chance. Y'all was just butthurt that Voyager ended, okay? And it's not as good as Deep Space Nine, as Next Generation, and Voyager. However, it is better than other shit. It's better. It's better than other shit. It's good. And you get, what I love about Enterprise is that you get to really see how the Vulcans were involved with humans post First Contact. Because like we see the Vulcans appear in First Contact, and they're the first aliens that make contact publicly with humans, and then next time before Enterprise we see the Vulcans is in the original series, and obviously like Spock rubs with some of the crew, but do you know what I mean? Like as far as we know, we didn't really see like how that relationship developed, and you really get to see it in Enterprise, and it's done so well. You really do feel like, because it's the first Warp 5 starship, so it's like out there by itself. It really feels like that. Like, it's so good. And And it's got a sexy cast. It's got a sexy cast. I ain't even going front. It does have some horny bits that has you going, now come on now. Come on now. That's probably why it was the last thing Rick Berman worked on. Thank God we don't have him no more. Problematic person. Anyway, even though he did bring about the golden age of Star Trek, but that's neither here nor there. But
Well,
okay, favorite episode of Enterprise, Regeneration.
Okay.
There are some others, but again, Enterprise is a little bit like Deep Space Nine. It has a lot of overarching seasons storylines. So yeah, Regeneration, the Borg episode that connects to the film First Contact. That shit. Chef's kiss. S-tier Star Trek, that is.
There's the stamp of the approval.
Yeah. You heard it here first.
I think we've done all the important series. We should probably take a break.
Okay.
Okay.
So, don't clickety clack,
We blackety black.
and we'll be right back.
Oh, yeah. And we're black. So we've just done Enterprise. I mean, we can't ask Will what his favourite episode was because...
It's the one where Tucker saves the ship in his underwear.
It's a good episode. That is a good episode. That's a good episode.
So,
Oh, I'm there.
in the break earlier,
He could save
we
me
had a
as I
little
was.
discussion, and a certain someone decided to bring up that there was a whole episode with someone in their underwear
Oh, yeah.
in Enterprise.
Commander Tucker. Oh, for those who know, you know. There's a whole episode where he saves the ship. The whole crew is unconscious, and he comes out the decontamination room, which is a room where after away missions in Enterprise, because it's pre-biofilters in the transporters, they have to go into a decontamination room, strip down to their underwear, and rub luminous gel onto each other's back. Even the dog, when he Porthos, when he goes on away missions, he has to and that's quite cute actually. What I do like about those scenes is that they usually do it's really good dialogue and really good like character development, but they're just like, it's all these porn shots of their like T'Pol's abs and Trip's snail trail, like, oh, like it's
And demonetized.
like, yeah, but it's like, yeah, it's a bit horny. But anyway, but we were going to discuss who, you know, because we're fucking, and after last episode's debauchery, I mean, fucking hell.
with literally
Yeah, like how that
the
conversation.
house of debauchery.
Yeah, the gaming episode ended up being the episode about Sims porn. But but who is everyone's top crush from each?
You skip it on.
Oh, what are we going to
need
do
to
the
talk
newer
about New
shows?
Trek.
Okay. Let's
New
do
Trek.
quick round on New Trek. It's hard though because so much of New Trek is serialized, so it's hard to like pick one episode. You know what I mean? Apart from Lower Decks.
And
Okay, favorite episode of Lower Decks. Here we go.
Okay, you go first.
The Deep Space Nine episode.
I knew you
By
were
far.
gonna say
However, it is hard because there is a good.
There's a lot of good episodes.
Actually, no. My number one
No.
episode is the holodeck episode when
Wait.
they have the assessment.
Yep.
I love
Yep,
when
that was
Boimler
great.
in the Borg simulation.
Just grabbing all the little balls,
Yeah,
baby.
Mariner and the sex orgy. The instructor cracked me up as well. Like
Oh my
she
God.
cracked me up.
Shady bitch that she was.
Yeah.
And that actually no, that was. And then I remembered the episode that I recently watched, and the other episode that it stems off from is actually a very good episode as well.
What episode are you talking about?
It's the one with the bird people.
Oh, Peanut Hampers episode. Oh yeah. Yeah, that is it's one of the most frustrating episodes of Star Trek though, because she goes through all this growth to just be like, nah, fuck it. You just like,
but
it's hilarious. It's
She's
hilarious.
just a dickhead.
Yeah,
And that's the best part about it. It's just like some people are just cunts.
yeah, literally.
And she
Even
is
in
one of them.
Starfleet, the first exocomp, and after that's a really great episode of Next Generation as well. And the first exocomp we see in Starfleet is a fucking cunt. But hey, free will and consciousness. That it
And
doesn't
for
mean you're
those
gonna be a
that
nice
haven't
person.
Seen any of this? So
Well, we'll have the little reference photos so you'll see what Peanut Hamper is and shit. Like, people who have no idea what Star Trek are probably like,
but Peanut Hamper
what
is
the fuck?
basically this robot with an AI that is sentient, and she is, just imagine the most arseholey bimbo ever.
She would out Rick.
Yep,
Yeah.
she would.
She would. She's
Because
that
that's
cunt.
essentially
Yeah,
what she
is
did
a cunt.
in that episode.
Yeah. Okay, so we've said Lower Decks. See, I think it's hard to say because, like, with Discovery, I have a favorite arc. I don't really have like a favorite episode.
Oh no, I have a favourite episode.
What's your favorite episode?
Bitch, you know me.
I don't know. Which episode would be your favorite? Girl, spit it out. What is it?
Just watching Michelle Yeoh be absolutely
okay.
badass at everything.
Yeah.
Like-
I did like her character.
So essentially, it's not one, but it's the couple of episodes where it's her story, and it's like the end of her badass story. But well, for now,
I mean, she
still waiting for that series. By the way,
I don't know if we need a whole spin-off.
I do. And you know, she just won a Golden Globe.
I know, but it's just like, I just feel like, I think why I love Lower Decks so much is because it's like, it's a crew. It's a story about a crew. Like, I think Picard has been a bit
You realise
jarring.
where they left her, right?
Yeah, no, I
And
do.
what she then...
Yeah, I know, but like, I just feel like a Section 31 show.
We need a Section 31 show.
Okay, I think it's gonna take a lot of the...
Because they just get sprinkled in here
I
and
don't
there
think we need
willy-nilly.
to know everything about Section 31, though. I think it's one of those things that it's better when they appear in other things. I think if we give them a show, we're going to know
we
too
don't-
much about it, and
no,
then
we
they're not
still
as
don't need-
ominous.
No, we still don't need to know everything.
But we
literally
will.
just needs to be a short series. Literally. One season. And then it's like... And now you want more, but
Well,
you ain't getting any?
do you know
Because we're
what-
just going to keep popping up in various different things.
I don't know. I don't think it's going to go down. I don't think it's
Because
strange.
you realise where they left...
No, I do. I get it. I just
Her-
don't think it needs a
She
whole
essentially
spin-off.
is the beginning of Section 31.
Yeah, I know. I don't know.
I need
I
it
just
in my
don't.
life. I need it.
I think
Sorry.
what would be really cool is to have a Star Trek anthology show where each season is set in a different era following a crew. Because like a lot of people have been
That'd be
saying,
good.
yeah, and like we could have a season of Sulu in between original series and Next Generation, like because we don't see a lot in that period other than a few films.
Just assume.
Yeah, but like he's definitely down to do it, and
And also, like, the growth, knowing that he's an admiral. Yeah, he becomes an admiral, doesn't he?
I think what they would want to do is actually I think he just stay. I don't think.
No, he does. Doesn't he become an admiral?
Well, not in anything alpha canon like TV or film. Last time we see him, he's a captain.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think an anthology show would be really cool, and then we could go to different eras and stuff, and like it's still giving that nostalgia while giving us something new, expanding the lore. Like, but anyway,
So we've done Discovery, we've done Lower Decks,
I don't think we need to go through the rest.
Strange New Worlds.
I think it's too new.
Just quick.
It's only got okay. Go on.
Strange New Worlds, my favourite one. The one with the language alien.
Yeah, which we talked about in the Aliens episode, the first episode of this year.
Because, again, lover of languages. And Uhura, again, brilliant representation from that character, and the fact that they're the communications officer. And the actress that is playing the younger version of Uhura.
Oh, she's great. Yeah.
brilliant.
That whole cast, there's not I wouldn't say there's one weak link. I think they are all great characters, and
yeah.
I think my favourite episode, just because of how wacky it was the fantasy episode.
That is a very good episode.
Yeah. But yeah.
And then Picard for me.
Oh, I'm not gonna give one. The first season was fine. Second season was third season we'll see. Like, it's just, yeah, it's fine.
For me, I think it's the season finale of season 1, sorry. And
Yeah,
it's
even
just-
with the copy and paste ships. I hated that, seeing 100 ships of the same class. Girl, Federation would never.
It happened in Lower Decks as well.
When they had all the California class.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was the story. Like that was the whole point. Like that was the whole point. Like it was all based
It could
around.
happen.
But that wasn't the point in Picard. They was saving money, bitch. They was saving money.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Girl, yeah. It was copy and paste. Watch George Lucas get his hands on it and he'll redo it. He'll redo that CGI.
He better
Yeah.
not.
I wouldn't mind that if he just put some other ships in there. But anyway, digress. Are we going to discuss who our biggest crushes are from each show?
Got 5 minutes.
Okay, let's do it.
Quick
Let's do
fire.
it. Okay, let's start with
I only have a few.
Next Generation. Who's yours? Don't forget the ladies too.
Oh no!
Yeah.
I ain't forgetting. I definitely ain't forgetting. See, the obvious one would be Riker, but no. Weirdly, it's actually Picard.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Weirdly, it's Picard.
I'd feel like that would be some slow sex.
It definitely would.
Yeah, with like classical music in the background. And
It would also be the most awkward way of asking. And now time for some rumpy pumpy.
what if he's the bottom? Come.
Make it so.
Engage. Oh God. Me, I had a childhood crush, Data, and I still find Data hot in Next Generation today. But yeah, it's Riker. Like Riker, I would sit on his face. Oh my
You did in the last
my
episode.
God. Oh yeah. Will, who's your number one crush from Next Generation?
No. None of them are, my favourites.
None of them. Not one.
Maybe Beverly.
Oh, okay, yeah, she is very stunning. I mean, they and Marina are very stunning.
Yeah, but I don't want to deal with
It's Waxana
Wesley,
Troy,
though.
isn't it?
Yeah.
It's Waxana Troy. That's your crush.
Yeah. And I'm not ashamed of that.
She is one of my favorite characters in Star Trek. When
Her
she
episodes are
appears,
great.
Yeah, and when she turns up on Deep Space Nine, I go, "Oh, we about to have a good time." Her episodes on Deep Space Nine are so good.
Only critique that accent. I'm glad she's got rid of it.
No. Are you talking Thingy's Marina's accent?
Yeah.
Not Waxana Troy. But yeah. Oh yeah, love that character.
But yeah, when she pops up, there's some drama every time.
Yeah, I fucking love it. Okay, Deep Space Nine. Oh, actually. Oh no, I know.
Oh.
I know. I have an answer.
Okay.
Either Dax.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're both
Yeah.
great.
What about Kira though? Because Kira has an amazing body.
Yeah.
Her bum. I look at her bum all the time.
See, I have 3, and my third one's the weirdest one, but it also makes sense.
Yeah.
Because clearly, gay character.
Uh-huh.
And you should know.
Garrick!
Oh, yes. I was going to say Wayoon.
No.
It's the shade for me. I'm
Right.
just like, okay.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I imagine I'd be like busy mates with Garrick. I'd be like, oh girl, you so funny. You're so funny. Like, you go fuck Bashir. Bashir sometimes, like in the earlier seasons, sometimes.
No, that looks too easy to throw around.
But no, for me,
No.
it's Daddy Cisco. It's like when Cisco gets the beard, my panties drop, bitch. My panties drop, and he has a deep voice. I love a deep voice. Oh my goodness! But when he's grown up, Jake Cisco. I'm not into kids. Don't start with me. Don't you start with me. No, but Jake Cisco in the last couple of seasons. Oh my goodness, what a man. Oh, what a man he grew up into. What a man, what a man, what a man, what a mighty good man. He's got such a big penis. Look it up.
Star Trek Voyager.
Star Trek Voyager. Oh, okay.
It has to be 7. When they added Seven, I'm sorry, they got me. Before that, it actually was Janeway.
Yeah.
You know,
for me,
went for a big B'Elanna phase.
Yeah, B'Elanna's hot. B'Elanna is hot. B'Elanna is hot. For me, it's Harry Kim. Harry Kim, he's pretty. He's pretty. He is pretty. And actually, even sometimes, there's a couple times I'll be looking at Tuvok like, all right, Mr. Tuvok. Like, when he has that bad dream when he's naked, I'm like, oh, look at his shoulders. Like, oh, work, Tuvok. And then when it, like, you know, even the other Vulcan, Vorik, he's sometimes they do some weird tanning shit to make him look like kind of Romulan in the last couple of seasons. I'm like, what the fuck? Why is he looking like a Simpson? But yeah, that's probably mine for Voyager. Everyone was always after Chakotay though. Like, everyone wanted Chakotay's dick. Like, why? Yeah, and you know that he's lying to them. Fucking, he draws that tattoo on every day because each episode it looks slightly different. They couldn't get a stencil for that shit. But anyway. Yeah. Okay, Enterprise. Oh. Okay, first of all, the whole cast, the men and women, apart from Dr. Phlox, no shade. But, like, they are all gorgeous. Maybe apart from Malcolm Reed, the security guy. I don't know. He reminds me of, like, an ex. So he kind of... Anyway. But, for me... Commander Tucker. The sweet southern sounds of Commander Tucker. Oh my goodness. But also rewatching it, T'Pol. Oh my goodness. T'Pol is so sexy. My goodness. And such a good actor. Such a good fucking actor. For you?
Yeah, not as invested in that series, so I can't.
You gotta be invested in the titties though. There's some good titties, men and women. Will, I know you've not seen it. I mean, do you even know the cast?
I've definitely know T'Pol very well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone knows T'Pol.
Okay.
Original series.
Oh, it's Spock.
Yeah.
Oh, and Spock in Strange New Worlds. Fucking Ethan Peck. Oh my goodness. Please make an OnlyFans. Please. Oh my fucking god. That first episode of Strange New Worlds. The first scene.
Yep.
Titties! Just put his fucking pecs. Ethan fucking Peck, emphasize the peck. Just put, not even a picture of his face, just his pecs right here. So I can just squeeze them right now. Oh Lord. We don't even have sex. I just want to touch your titties, man. Just let me touch your titties. And Spock with a beard, literally like, and I was watching Strange New Worlds with my mum. Do you know what kind of experience that is? Like, the first episode opens with Ethan's pecs.
Did your mum do the typical black thing of there's awkward or...
Well, usually she tells
sexy.
me off. If I say someone's sexy, she'll be like, oh, stop. And then, but she was like, he is fine. And I'm like,
but did she do the typical black thing of, why are you watching?
No, because even she was like, oh my god, like it was mouth-watering sexiness. I couldn't, I've never wanted to, anyway. I was about to go, it was about to be too much. Yeah, what show were we saying originally?
I think that's enough. I think that's a great place to end the episode.
Oh, well.
You know?
It's been fun.
So much was said, yet there's so much more to say.
Galaxies.
To go
Quadrants.
where no drag queen has gone before. To seek out new bullshit to talk about. To visit strange new topics.
And on that note.
Are we really ending it there?
Yeah.
Yeah?
There'll be more.
Okay.
If the people want it.
Live long and prosper, F-Team.
And set your phases to stunning! That's gonna be my entrance line on Drag Race. That's it. It's a wrap.
Peace.